Charles Herbert Lightoller Skywalker was born in Chorley, Lancashire. The Shire? On March 30th, 1874. At 13, he began a 4-year apprenticeship aboard the bark Primrose Hill. Now, before we go any further, just know that what I'm about to tell you next about this man's life honestly made me believe that the Final Destination franchise isn't actually fiction. It's just loosely based on him. On his second voyage, he set sail with the crew of the Halt Hill. During a storm in the South Atlantic, the ship was forced to put in at Rio de Janeiro, where it, listen closely now, had to make repairs in the middle of a smallpox epidemic and a revolution. Another storm in 1889, in the Indian Ocean, caused the ship to run aground on an uninhabited island, from which they were luckily rescued. He was serving as a third mate aboard the Knight of St. Michael when the cargo of coal caught fire and he had to aid in putting it out. Later on, after 3 years in the African Royal Mail Service on the West African coast, he nearly died from a heavy bout of malaria. Could we give him a break, please? No. He briefly prospected for gold in the Yukon in 1898, became a cowboy in Alberta, Canada, briefly became a railroad riding hobo, then returned to England in 1899, virtually penniless. How about now? No. He later joined the SS Majestic under the command of a certain Captain Edward J. Smith. From there, he was promoted to third officer on the RMS Oceanic, the flagship of the White Star Line. While on the ship, with the bridge decking wet and the ship rolling, he liked to amuse himself, quote, by trying to slide from one side of the bridge to the other without touching anything. What? This guy. In March 1911, however, while serving as Oceanic's first officer, the ship's foremast was struck by lightning in a gale. Lightoller was standing on the bridge at the time, and narrowly avoided being seriously injured by falling splinters. Okay, come on, you were actually trying that time. Don't have a clue what you're talking about. Can we please, for the love of God, you mean for the love of me, just cut him some slack, please? Okay, sure. On March 20th, 1912, Lightoller boarded the RMS Titanic in Belfast, acting as first officer for the sea trials. However, after a personnel switch-up by Captain Smith, he was demoted to second officer.